Namaste to all. Ram Ram. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste to all. Ram Ram. We continue with Bhagavad Gita, Ashtadashodhyayah, the last chapter. I think we've completed 30. Let's quickly revise 21 to 30 and then we will move on with the new set. Anyone who would like to chant? Okay, let me try sharing the document again. Sorry, the font is not working for some reason, the Sanskrit font. Okay, let me try sharing. We'll see. Hopefully this works. Okay. Okay. Rama Lakshmi ji, would you like to chant? Kalavati ji, I think she's messaged first. Let's see if Kalavati ji can start. Please go ahead and unmute.
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम् यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पं च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् नियतं संहरहितं रागद्वेषतः कृतम् अपलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतम् अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनपेक्षय च पौरुषं मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तथात्मसमुच्यते.
Anapekshya. Can you say that line again? Anubandham.
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनपेक्ष्य च पौरुषं मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तथात्मसमुच्यते.
Yattattamasamuchyate.
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते.
Correct.
मुक्तसङ्गो नहं वादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते।
Correct.
रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः। अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिको लसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते। बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय। प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी।
Very good. Would you like to repeat?
ओके मैम।
यया धर्ममधर्मं च
यया धर्ममधर्मं च
कार्यं च कार्यमेव च
कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च
अयथावत् प्रजानाति
अयथावत् प्रजानाति
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी।
यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं च कार्यमेव च
यया धर्मं च कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च
अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी।
वेरी गुड अधर्मं धर्ममिति या
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या
मन्यते तामसावृता
मन्यते तामसावृता
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी।
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता।
Was the earlier pronunciation incorrect? Tamasavrta chanena. It should be
Yes.
tamasavrta. Correct. Manyate tamasavrta.
मन्यते तमसावृता
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी।
The guna is tamaha. The one who has the tamasa guna or the buddhi is tamasi. So, depending on what is being described, it will be tamaha or it will be tamasi. So, there is a difference there. I think earlier I had said tamasavrita. It is tamasavrita. It is tamasaha avritaha. So, surrounded by the tamasa guna. Dhritya yaya dharayate
धृत्या यया धारयते
मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः
मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः
योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या
योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या
There is no visarga there. Yogena vyabhicharinya
योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या
धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः
योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
Correct. Sorry, as I'm teaching, I'm actually verifying the text because the font got messed up in my system. So just bear with me if I pause somewhere. Yaya tu dharma kamarthan
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान्
धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन
धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन
प्रसङ्गेन फलाकाङ्क्षी
प्रसङ्गेन फलाकाङ्क्षी
धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन
प्रसङ्गेन फलाकाङ्क्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
प्रसङ्गेन फलाकाङ्क्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
धृतिः सा, there is no it there. धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
I think so far text is okay. यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं
विषादं मदमेव च
विषादं मदमेव च
The next line there is a visarga. Please include that. न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः
न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः அந்த தால விசர்க்கமா மேடம்
Adhala there is a visargam and
ஓகே
vimunchati. Na
விமுஞ்சதி
vimunchati. There is no im there. Na vimunchati durmedhaha.
न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः
Dhriti sa partha tamasi.
धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी
Correct. I think so far the text is okay. Oh, it's messed up here. Sukham tvidanim trividham.
सुखं त्रिविधानि त्रिविधम्
Tvidanim. So it is basically 2 plus idanim becomes tvidanim. So sukham tvidanim.
सुखं त्रिधानीं त्रिविधम्
And there is no mahaprana. Tvidanim.
सुखं सुखं त्रिधानीं
When you pronounce, you're saying dha. Tvidanim.
okay
Dha. It is
okay
just dha.
सुखं त्रिधानीं त्रिविधम्
Correct. Shrunu me bharatarshab.
शृणु मे भरतर्षभ
Abhyasadramate yatra.
अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र
Dhukkantam cha nigacchati.
दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
The kha is mahaprana. Dhukkantam cha nigacchati.
दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
Correct. Sukham tvidanim trividham shृणु मे भरतर्षभ.
सुखं विधानीं त्रिविधं शृणु मे भरतर्षभ
अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति.
अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
Correct. यत्तदग्रे विषमिव
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव
परिणामे मृतोपमम्.
परिणामे मृतोपमम् परिणामे मृतोपमम्
तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम. I think 1 second. Proktam. So you have to split there. तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम.
तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम्
आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्.
आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
Correct. आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्. Dutva is there.
आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमम्.
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमम्
तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्.
तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
Correct. There is a split here. Vishayendriya sanyogat. There is a it and then yattadagre.
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात्
तत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्. Once again. Yogat yattagre mृतोपमम्.
यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्
I wish the font was working. We could have split this better. 1 second. Vishayendriya sanyogat yat tat agre. So that becomes yattadagre. So yattadagre mritopama. Usually I have the document set for the split that font is not working in the documents. So this is the previous version. Vishayendriya sanyogat यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्.
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्
परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्.
तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्.
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्
परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजस्मृतम्.
परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
Correct. यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च
सुखं मोहनमात्मनः.
सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थम्.
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थम्
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
Correct. न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा
दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तम्
सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तम्
यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
यदेभिः स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः
Both the bars are Mahapranah. यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
यदेभिः स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः
Correct. स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः स्यात् त्रिभिः गुणैः that is a split स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः
Would you like to try?
Okay, Anuji, I will try. यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च अयथावप्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतां च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
Correct.
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयते अर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधं शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमम् तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबन्धिर्प्रसादजम् आत्मबुद्धि यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमम् तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम् यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
We didn't chant 38 liya Vishayendriya Sanyoga.
1 minute. विषयेन्द्रिय संयोगात् अत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम् विषयेन्द्रिय संयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम् परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम् यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्याद्रिभिर्गुणैः.
Thank you so much for working with me today.
Thank you, madam.
Ram Ram. Any doubts in pronunciation? Thirty-eight. Vishayendriya Sanyogat Yattadagre Amritopamam Pariname Vishamiva Tatsukam Rajasam Smritam. Yogat Yattadagre. So in Tamil or English you can see it. Inga it plus ya becomes dia. Idya. Yogadya. Vishayendriya Sanyogat Itta Yattadagre. Yat tat agre becomes Yattadagre. Ritopama. I hope it's clear now. Okay, let's do a summary of sure. Saraswati, Chandra.
Namaste Vaniji.
Ram Ram, namaste.
20வது ஸ்லோகத்துல சாத்விக ஞானத்தை பற்றி கூறின பிறகு 21, 22ல ரஜசம் தாமச பற்றி சொல்றாரு. 21வது ஆத்மாக்களை சமமாக பார்க்காமல் ஜாதியாலும் குணத்தாலும் உடலாலும் வேறுபட்டதாக புரிந்து கொள்ளும் ஞானம் ராஜச ஞானமாகும். 22ல உடல் ஒன்றே அனைத்தும் என்று உண்மை பொருளை உணராமல் அற்பமான ஞானம் தாமச ஞானமாகும். 23, 24, 25ல ஞானத்தை பத்தி சொன்ன அப்புறம் கர்மாவை பத்தி சொல்றார். சாஸ்திரத்துல விதிக்கப்பட்டபடி புகழில் விருப்பமோ that is Sangara Hitam, without attachment. And இகழ்ச்சியில் வெறுப்போ அல்லது ராகத்வேஷம், that is பயனில் விருப்பம், that is பயனில் இச்சை இல்லாமல் செய்யப்பட்ட கர்மம் சாத்விக கர்மமாகும். 24ல கர்த்திருத்த புத்தியுடன் வேறு பயனில் விருப்பத்துடன் நான் செய்தேன் என்கிற அகங்கார எண்ணத்துடன் பெரு முயற்சியுடன் எந்த கர்மம் செய்கிறோமோ அது ராஜச கர்மமாகும். 25ல செயலின் பின்னாடி துன்பம், that is துன்பம் பின்தொடர்ந்தாலும் வீண் இழப்பு ஏற்பட்டாலோ, ஹிம்சா நம்மையும் பிறரையும் துன்பப்படுத்தினாலோ, அப்புறம் தான் செயலாற்றும் திறமையை, that is அனபேக்ஷா, தான் செயலாற்றும் திறமையை ஆராயாமல் செய்வதும், பகவான் செயல்படுகிறான் என்ற எண்ணம் இல்லாமல் தான் செய்கிறேன் என்ற அஜ்ஞானத்தில் ஆரம்பித்த செயல் தாமச கர்மா என்று சொல்லப்படுகிறது. 26 பற்றுதல்களை துறந்தவன், அப்புறம் தான் என்று பேசாதவன், பயனில் ஆசைப்படாதவன், திருதி உறுதியுடன் எடுத்த காரியத்தை செய்வது, உற்சாகம் ஊக்கத்துடன் வெற்றி தோல்வியில் மாறுபாடற்றவனாக உள்ள கர்த்தா சாத்விக கர்த்தாவாவார். அப்புறம் 27ல புகழில் விருப்பம் உள்ளவன், செயலின், that is பயனில் ஆசையுள்ளவன், நற்செயலுக்கு கூட கருமியாக இருப்பவன், தன் செயலை நிறைவேற்றுவதற்கு மற்றவரை துன்பப்படுத்தவன், செய்யும் செயலுக்கு தகுதியான சுத்தி இல்லாதவன், மகிழ்ச்சி துன்பம் இவற்றால் பாதிக்கப்படுவனை ராஜச கர்த்தா என்று கூறப்படுகிறது. 28ல எவன் ஒருவன் ஸ்கிரிப்சர்ஸ்க்கு எகெயின்ஸ்டா பண்றானோ, மெட்டீரியலிஸ்டிக்கா இருக்கானோ, வஞ்சகனாக இருக்கானோ, தென் and he is expert in insulting others, that is பிறர் வாழ்க்கையை கெடுப்பவனாக இருப்பான், சோம்பேறியாகவும் இருப்பான், சோம்பேறியாக காலம் கடத்துபவன், இவன் தாமசன் என்று சொல்லப்படுகிறது. அப்புறம் 29ல முக்குணங்களுக்கு ஏற்ப புத்திக்கும் மன உறுதிக்கும் 3 விதமான பாகுபாட்டை முழுமையாகவும் தனித்தனியாகவும் ஒன்று கூட விடாது சொல்கிறேன் கேள் என்று அர்ஜுனனிடம் பகவான் கூறுகிறார். லாஸ்ட் ஸ்லோகத்துல 30வது பிரவிருத்திம் ச நிவர்த்திம் ச காரிய நம்ம செய்யும் காரியத்தில் எது செய்யலாம் எது செய்யக்கூடாது, பயே எதற்கு பயப்படலாம் எதற்கு பயப்படப்படாது, பந்தம் மோட்சம் எது நம்மள இந்த வாழ்க்கையில் பந்தப்படுத்தும், எது லிபரேஷனுக்கு வழி கொடுக்கும் என்பதை, இந்த உண்மை நிலையை புரிய வைக்கும் புத்தி தான் சாத்விக புத்தி என்று பகவான் அர்ஜுனனுக்கு கூறுகிறார்.
Very good. One more thing is he also talks about what needs to be done and what needs to be renounced. The path of work or action and the path of renunciation. Excellent. Thank you so much, Ji. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaniji.
Okay. So in 31, so he talked about Satviki in 30, the Buddhi. So next is going to be Rajasi. Yaya Dharmam Adharmam cha Karyam cha Akaryam eva cha Ayathavat Prajanati Buddhihi sa Partha Rajasi. So what is Dharma and what is Adharma? What is Karyam? What is Akaryam? So one person does not know what needs to be done, what should not be done. He also does not know what is Dharma or what is Adharma. So the understanding of these is far from reality. Ayathavat means opposite. Prajanati, the one who, basically the one who does not know. That kind of buddhi, a buddhi that does not have a grasp or has a incorrect grasp of dharma, adharma, karyam, akaryam. That buddhi is said to be rajasic buddhi. Next one is going to be tamasic. Adharmam, dharmam iti ya manyate, tamasa avrita, sarva arthan viparitan cha buddhihi sa partha tamasi. So everything is around adharma. Adharma, dharmam itiya. This person does not know, not does not know, he actually thinks that adharmam is dharmam. So the wrongdoing in his books is right. Adharmam, dharmam itiya. What is defined as adharmam in Shastras, that he considers to be dharma. Ya manyate. Manyate means who regards, who thinks, or who considers. Tamasa avrita. This person is enveloped by darkness. Tamaha. So that kind of person, what does he do? He is always looking at everything in a crooked way. Sarva arthan, everything that is posed to him. Viparitamscha. Vipari is basically opposite. So the first word itself explains adharmam dharmam itiya. So viparitamscha, what is actually a lie, he considers to be a truth. What is dishonesty, he thinks that that is honesty. In the madri ellathileyume he has the understanding which is opposite of the reality, opposite of what is defined. That kind of person is tamasic. So we can clearly distinguish between a buddhi which is sattvic, buddhi which is rajasic, and buddhi which is tamasic. So in the earlier shloka, he clearly says he has some understanding, but he does not have a clear understanding. There is a disconnect between dharma, adharma, karyam, akaryam. So he knows dharma, he knows adharma, he knows karyam, he knows akaryam, but there is no clarity in the understanding. In 32, where it is tamasic understanding or tamasic buddhi, he considered everything the opposite. What is dharma, he considered adharma. What is the truth, what is the truth he considers to be something which is not trustable or trustworthy. So everything there is an opposite. Viparitanscha. Viparitan. Viparitan means something which is opposite. Viparipadam means opposite. That kind of buddhi is tamasic buddhi. Next comes dhriti. Dhriti means the firmness that we have. So one thing that our mind, our actions, our style of living that is missing is that firmness. So lot of people from the previous generation, they have the dhriti. Whatever happens, they will stick on to certain things and they will do. Of course, so in certain aspects, it was the root cause of lot of stress as well. But in general, what needs to be, where we need to be firm, you can see that in previous generations, they were very firm, even with respect to nitya anushtanams, doing things in a very disciplined way, having a clockwork kind of life where you can kind of predict what will happen at a certain time. That kind of like firmness towards life, which is not there in this generation. I am definitely not one of them. So so that kind of dhritihi, which is firmness. And the three classification, what is considered to be a dhriti? Dhritihi is also a strilinga padam. So that is why again he uses satviki, tamasi, and rajasi. So he says, dhritya, yaya, there. Dhritya yaya dharayate manaha pra ana indriya kriyaha yogena avi ami charinya dhritihi sa partha satviki. So dhritya, the firmness that is there, dharayate, he always holds. Dharati means holding on to something. That is why Bhumi is called Dhara. Dhara means she holds us, she supports us. So dharayate, somebody by whom with firmness it is being held. What is being held? Mind, prana, indriya, and the senses, all the actions. Prana, indriya, kriya. So the life itself is being held. All the senses are controlled, and the actions are controlled. So that kind of person, yogena avyabhicharinya dhriti sa partha satviki. So the regulation comes through yoga and abhyasa. So that kind of practice. So he clearly says this is not something which is very easy. How does that person achieve it? He achieves it through strong yoga and strong abhyasa practice, through yoga and the functions of mind. So dhritya yaya dharayate manaha pranaha indriyaha kriyaha, all these four. So he holds firmly his mind, his prana, his indriya, and his actions through yoga and abhyabhicharinya. So there is no, what is the word? There is no instability. So abhicharinya is basically having complete stability or complete sthiram, like we call it, the sthiramness which is there. That kind of dhriti is called as satviki. What is rajasi? Again continues with dhriti. Yaya tu dharma kama arthan dhritya dharayate Arjuna prasangena phalakankshi dhritihi sa partha rajasi. So he has hold to dharma, artha, and kama, these three. Dharma, kama, and artha. He is given in that order. That kind of firmness is there, but the firmness which is there has two qualities. Can somebody, based on the words which are given there, explain what they are? Prasangena phalakankshi. This is a classic trait of Rajasic nature. Prasangena means attachment. Correct. We've seen this word multiple times. And phalakankshi, expecting a certain result. So that kind of dhriti becomes Rajasi. And if you watch here, he does not have dhriti towards moksha. It is dharma, artha, and kama. So these three, where he has the dhriti or the firmness, but the dhriti has a strong attachment towards the firmness towards the fruits of action. That kind of dhriti becomes Rajasi. And then the last one, which is Tamasi, where there is no kind of firmness at all. And even if it is there, it has all these attributes which are extremely disturbing in nature. Yaya, swapnam, bhayam, shokam, vishadam, madam, evacha, na vimunchati durmedhaha dhritihi sa partha tamasi. So swapnam means sleep, bhayam is fear, shokam is sadness, vishadam is what Arjuna is experiencing, or at least experienced when Bhagavad Gita started, which is the despair or some kind of disturbance. Madam is arrogance or filled with ego, conceit. Evacha na vimunchati. Vimunchati means gives up or abandons. Durmedhaha. Medha is knowledge. Durmedhaha means useless or knowledge which is of detrimental in nature. That kind of firmness is said to be tamasic. So he is always in sleep. He is filled with fear. Whatever happens, even when a treasure of gold is presented to him, he will only experience sadness. In every situation, there is some kind of confusion, despair, emotion that is experienced. And there is a lot of arrogance in the way he lives. Madam evacha navimunchati. He does not give up. Durmedhaha. The buddhi which is of no use. That kind of dhriti becomes tamasi. There is a little more explanation that Krishna continues, which is very interesting. So let's see what he says. Sukham tu idanim trividham shrunu me bharatarshapha abhyasat ramate yatra dukkantam cha nigacchati. So he says, Shrunu me bharatarshava. Oh Arjuna, listen to me. Sukham tu idanim trividham. Sukham is happiness. The happiness is of three kinds. And he continues. Abhyasat. Abhyasam is practice. Ramate, the joy. Dukkantam, at the end of pain. It basically nigacchati. It attains. So there are three kinds of happiness. A person comes to enjoy abhyasam, which is repeated practice, and then he reaches the end of his sorrow, which means he basically is rid of the sorrow and is going to be happy. So that kind of happiness. Abhyasa is a very, very powerful weapon. So whatever we do in life, wherever we start, with just regular, consistent practice, we can achieve anything in life. So talent to a certain extent is important, where the time we spend or when we start a particular journey, maybe the inherent skill or talent is important. But for anything that we achieve in life, the most important thing is basically abhyasam. There is no substitute for hard work and practice. So that at the end of it eliminates sorrow completely and gives him happiness. So there are three kinds, and then we'll continue seeing. So when a person does abhyasam, there is a joy, and end of sorrow, because of that, he reaches the end of sorrow and he experiences joy. 37. So continues over the abhyasa part of it. Yet tat agre visham iva pariname amrita upamam. Tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. So something which is given to us when it is extremely tough. It feels like we are asked to consume poison. At the beginning, agre, at first, visham iva. Visham is poison. Pariname, visham iva, it is dead. Pariname means at the end, it is like amritam. Amrita upamam. It is like nectar. That kind of sukham is satvikam. So the takeaway from this is that anybody who starts something, any journey for that matter, the initial stages are extremely rough. So the kind of effort that we have to put in, the kind of consistency that we have to maintain, the determination, the dhriti that we need to have, that kind of sadhana, when one practices, it feels like it is as though we are asked to take poison. But at the end of it, when we actually follow these key aspects, then the end product that we actually experience is like amritam, which is nectar. That kind of amritam, that kind of happiness, how does it come into picture? So it is satvikam, means it has sattvic nature. Proktam means it is said, Atma Buddhi Prasadacham. Prasadam means blessing. And that blessing one gets only because of the purity of one's own mind. Because he realizes that even though Visham it feels like Visham, at the end of it, there is Amritam. And that kind of self-realization, Atma Buddhi, Atma Vidya, that kind of Sukham is Satvikam. It is interesting that even in Sukham, Krishna classifies into different categories. Now, he continues saying, Vishaya Indriya Sanyogat Yet Tat Agre Amrita Upamam Pariname Visham Iva Tat Sukham Rajasam Smritam. So it's very clear. It's opposite of Satvik. So at the beginning, because of the pleasure that it gives to the Indriyas, Vishaya Indriya Sayoga, the connection that it has to the Indriyas, the pleasures of the Indriyas, it feels like Amritam is given to us. Pariname, but at the end, Visham Iva, it ends in poison. That kind of Sukham, which our sense organs and mind experiences at the beginning, but at the end is detrimental to us, is only going to cause pain. That kind of Sukham is Rajasam. Rajasam Smritam is said to be, or is declared as Rajasam. So the first category is where at the beginning it feels painful, but at the end it is Amritam. Now, Rajasic Sukham, at the beginning it feels like Amritam, but at the end it is going to be poison. Now, the next kind. Yet agre cha anubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmanah nidra alasya pramada utham tat tamasam udahritam. So the happiness, there is no true happiness which is basically experienced, because that happiness arises from nidra, which is sleep, alasyam, which is laziness, pramadaha, which is misunderstanding or miscomprehension. So both at the beginning, both at the end, we feel like it is happiness, but it is not true happiness, because that happiness is the happiness arises due to nidra, sleep, laziness, and Pramadaha. Pramadaha is miscomprehension or not paying heed to something, especially the Shastras. We have seen this word before as well. So three kinds of sukham: Visham at first and happiness at the end, which is what we all want, which is Sattvic Sukham. Even the practice of yoga, even the practice, the spiritual path, it's extremely hard. It requires a lot of effort. Now, so it feels like Amritam at the beginning, but then ends in Visham. That kind is Rajasic. And the third category where there is Sukham, there is happiness, but that happiness itself is a delusion. And why it is a delusion? Because it is tied or it arises from sleep, laziness, and miscomprehension of or not paying attention or respect to something, pramadaha. That is tamasam. Na tat asti prithivyam va divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakriti jaihi muktam yat ebihi syat tribihi gunaihi. So he goes back to the gunatraya, where the three gunas which are there, which is born from prakriti. So there is no being on earth. Prithvi means earth. Divi means in Devaloka, which is heaven. And among the devas too. So there is nobody who is liberated from these three gunas, these three qualities. Everything has the root from these three qualities. We talked about the pyramid, right? Where these three are not compartmentalized. They don't exist individually. It is like a triangle where in certain cases, the Sattvic controls the other two. In certain cases, the Rajasic controls other two. And in certain other cases, the Tamasic controls the other two. So that is why he says, there is, even though I have classified these kind of sukha, I have classified these kind of dhriti, I have classified buddhi, I have classified karma, all these classifications that I have done according to the three types, they arise from gunas, which are the three gunas which are born from Prakriti. So there is the truth is that there is no person in Prithvi or Devaloka. Devaloka here he means more of Devas. So we have seen Puranic stories where Devas themselves have exhibited cases of egoism, cases of misconduct, cases where they acted according to adharma and they had to pay for it. Cases where in a place where they are supposed to help somebody, they actually cause more pain. So in Puranas, we've seen all these stories or incidents where Devas themselves have exhibited, even though they are the beings of Devaloka itself. So even the Devas, if Devas themselves experience this, then we mortals in the Prithvi, on this earth, there is no liberation or there is no escape from the three gunas, these three, which is born from Prakriti. Essentially, what he is trying to communicate here is the same compartmentalization, which is not a quality of the three gunas. The three gunas don't exist individually by themselves. The three gunas exist sort of in one compartment together. What dominates over the other comes from the swabhava, comes from the karma and the vasanas that we have come with. Also the free will that we exercise, and of course Bhagavan and Guru. They are, I wouldn't say they are interlinked. They coexist. That's a better word. So they don't exist independently. So there is no compartment where everything is sattvic, everything or another place where everything is rajasic or tamasic. So in my mind, I think of a triangle, right? A triangle with 3 points, and the 3 points are connected to each other and they coexist at the same time. Now, I think if we have to understand it better, then we can just think of like percentages. So in terms of Sattvic, it could be 80, 10, 10. So most of the times in these situations, we are able to exhibit dhriti, we are able to exhibit the buddhi, we are able to do karyam, we are able to do karma, we are able to do yajna, dana, and tapa based on attributes which fall under the Sattvic category. But on the other hand, there are times when we fall short, in which case it would fall under Rajasic or Tamasic. So that is why he says the 3 gunas which are born from Prakriti, no person can escape these 3 gunas in Prithvi or in Devaloka. I think somebody had asked about 15 shlokas. I just didn't want to disrupt our rhythm of 10-10 that we have been kind of practicing. We will try to have extra classes. I have some time off next week from work. So I'll see if I can have some classes maybe even tomorrow or day after. Just look for my message in the Bhagavad Gita group. Office work is also a little quietened down because of holiday season. So if we complete, I think there are 78. So we need 41 to 50. 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and 70. So we need 4 more classes. So if we can do 2 this week and then 2 next week, I think we will be good for chanting on the 30th. And if you're part of the group, I've shared the full audio of chapter 15. So you can, if you have signed up for the last set, you can listen to it and practice. For various reasons, even though we planned ahead, classes kept getting cancelled. Any other questions? There is a lot of clarity in this chapter because he talks about the 3 distinctly, and like we can kind of, somebody can help me with this. So we can create a table where the columns would be Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic, and then the rows would be the different classification and what are the attributes. Maybe I think Kalavati ji, right? You had done some extensive research on examples that he gives from real scenarios. So you can try Jyotsna or Haridra, you can try to. So maybe a table that we can go through later. Okay. We'll end the class. Please go through the audio, which is the full audio that I have posted. I will do the videos and enable them on YouTube as well. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Jai Shankara Hara Hara Shankara. Mahaperiyava Sharanam.